Welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Cheetahs Up Close with Bertie Gregory. This is the latest in his series of specials about, dolphins up close, sharks up close, animals up close in general. He's done a lot of these things, traveled around the world. This is his first time in Tanzania. This is his latest special, which is from 2026. It is 45 minutes long, and you're not going to find somebody more enthusiastic about whatever animal he happens to be tracking at that time, and you're not going to find pretty much any other that are not using any others that are not using better technology to capture these creatures up close. And it is fantastic, the footage they get and the technology they use. It is, yes, mainly about the cheetahs and the world they live in, but they do put a little focus on some of the camera stuff that they use. They use drones, of course. There's one shot of a cheetah chasing down a zebra. Not a zebra, but yes. Chasing down. And the drone is running parallel to the side of the cheetah as she is racing along, and she's outpacing the drone. The cheetahs can run up to 70 miles an hour. It is pretty just insane how fast they are, and the ones they're going after tend to go around 50 miles an hour at best, and well, that makes for not always easy kill, but it is also they know what they're capable of. And very often they don't even bother racing towards prey until they're really close, stalking carefully. And you get to see all of that with these cameras. In this, also between the drones and also the kind of camera they have hanging off the front of the truck when they're driving, like on a kind of like a gimbal kind of thing to minimize any kind of bounce or shake. They also realize that they're in the Serengeti. This is his first time in Tanzania, I think. Did I say that yet? I don't know. He's in Tanzania, in the Serengeti, in the plains where the cheetahs raise their young and fight for food up against lions and hyenas. And yeah, they are much stronger than cheetahs, but the cheetahs are so much faster. So it's a balance. One of the cameras that they have, since they're in the Serengeti, there's a lot of rain, and they decided to follow along with a migration of wildebeests amongst other creatures, and it's triggered by the rainy season. So they realized they were going to be in a lot of situations where there's going to be a lot of rain, and rain is not really great for cameras. Especially, it's not that it's going to ruin the camera necessarily, but when you're trying to shoot something with a certain level of clarity beyond 4K many times, it is required that you have a clean lens. They have a special, he shows off a special feature where they have kind of like a spinner around the lens that pushes away any kind of water. So he literally spin this thing up around this gorgeous lens, and he just throws a bottle of water, just the water, not the bottle itself, but the water in a bottle right at the camera lens, and it just pushes it all away. So at all times when that's running, no matter how rainy it is around them, the torrential downpour, no rain gets on the lens, and that's fantastic. To see how that works out. And there is a moment where they do have to do a lot of chasing the animals who are chasing their prey in the plains during a heavy downpour. And it still looks fantastic. You can't go wrong whenever Bertie goes out there and starts following some animals. And yes, like I said, he's passionate about these things. He takes sides, where normally when you're just, documenting and you're watching this happen, and yeah, they don't get in the way, like, oh, that's a cute little wildebeest or a cute little gazelle or something. Oh, we don't want that to be eaten. They're not going to interfere. Nobody gets to interfere. That's the way it works in the jungle or the Serengeti desert or the plains. It's just the way it works. But he does take sides in some cases. He really roots for the cheetahs in this case because they're the focus of the episode. We get to see little fuzzy cubs too. Oh, they're so absolutely cute. They look like, you don't know that they would just end up being the fastest killers on land. at some point in their lives. If they survive, what I've learned from this, and I've seen, again, plenty of cheetah documentaries, and I've probably forgotten more than I've ever remembered when it comes to these things, but barely 5% of cheetah cubs survive to adulthood. Why? Well, because mom, while she's hunting down, chasing down a wildebeest or a zebra or whatever it is, has to leave the fuzzy little cute cubs alone long enough to make the kill. And guess who's also looking for a kill and a quick, easy meal? Lions. Hyenas. Yeah, it's not the gazelles that are trying to eat up the cheetah babies, but yeah, the little ones don't last long very often. In fact, one that the mother that we're following in this, there's males that hunt as a pack. There's a mom who has 2 cubs, and we get to learn a little bit about her. They track these animals. The guys who basically, the Serengeti is a protected national park for that region, so it's protected from humans basically, to keep them from poaching and just killing off all the species themselves for profit, as they often do. So they get to know these animals to the point of collecting their poop. Yeah, it's not because we want to clean, Serengeti. No, animals poop, and well, there's a guy who's in charge who, by the way, knows all the animals, knows by sight. He knows, that's the mom. We recognize her compared to, say, another mom. He knows that she's had other cubs before, and they had not survived. He also knows what their poop is like because he has to go pick some up, run experiments on it to check their DNA, to see how certain packs and moms and fathers and how they all interact, how they all breed, and if there's any kind of disease or anything else, they can find these kind of things out. So it helps to keep the population up and alive and safe. So, but it's a man that has to deal with cheetah poop. So it's not always the most glamorous job. Gregory, of course, Bertie, he decides to not get involved this time and just sort of sits back and lets the other guy take care of it. So, but yeah, it's lighthearted, it's fun, and he makes you feel like you're in the vehicle there with you. Because very often he'll be looking out the window talking to one of his other guys in the vehicle, but then he'll turn to the camera guy in the back seat, look directly in the camera, and it makes you feel like you're right there with him. So he's always upbeat and fun, and he's got this is a great kind of thing to share with your kids, and you can also appreciate it too because it's not focused for a specific age group. It's just it shows a certain passion and a love for nature and all sorts of creatures, and it's always a good time with Bertie Gregory. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 67. 67. What do we got? By the way, we have a lot of documentaries and reality shows and everything else. That's just the way it is. We've gone through all the Disney movies, all the Pixar stuff. For the most part, we have one Pixar thing left. Although we'll probably get Hoppers soon. We've seen all the Star Wars stuff. We've seen all the Marvel stuff that's been released to date. But, so we got most of it. There's so many documentaries and reality shows, unfortunately. I don't like reality shows. But we have a reality show that I've seen a lot of series and specials and spin-offs. This is the last one that I know of. It's a spin-off series of a very popular series that has been on National Geographic, I believe, just forever. If you know who Dr. Paul is, well, he's sort of retired. He's been around for a long time. So rather than being the star of his own show, they've created a spin-off of, for his family. It's called The Incredible Paul Farm. Yeah. So, yeah, he shows up. But this is mostly focused on the family. that his family, his son, especially, is in charge of this, from what I understand. And yeah, sure, mom and dad will stop by every so often, just to, I imagine. So this way, this series, if it depending on how, if it's not been canceled yet or not, this is the kind of series that could last forever, but not be named after Dr. Paul, just in case nature. So. So yeah, that's what we're watching tomorrow. The Incredible Paul Farm is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.